Good morning. This is Sunday. You're with Mission Live. This is Roger from the MSC Mission Office. I just came back last night from Papua New Guinea, where I was the facilitator for the Papua New Guinea MSC province chapter. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that. In our readings today, particularly the Gospel, Jesus calls on people to have values and faith and belief much deeper than that exhibited by some of their leaders. And he says in a whole series of statements, you have it from your ancestors, you have it from before, to do this, this, this. But I say to you, you must do this. And what he's doing is constantly saying, but I say to you, you must go deeper. You must go to the core of what that belief is. In Papua New Guinea, they're a young nation, and our province there is a young province, really. A growing number of members, and within the province, a growing number of mature men. And in the process of becoming a province, a religious congregation in that culture at this time is to constantly be discerning how they do that within their own culture. And that's a constant for the whole country. They have their culture, they have their values, they have their customs, they have their ways of doing. And yet they're impacted by this modern world with many, many things. And they must constantly be trying to see how can we do this in a modern world and remain true to ourselves. So they must go deeper into the values of their own culture, into the meaning of those values. And this is what our MSC men are called to do, and they're very conscious of that. They're very conscious that they're in the church as it is today, they're in a universal church. They belong to a worldwide congregation, and yet they are themselves. They are Papua New Guineans, they are Melanesians. And they must constantly find how do you do that to be really Melanesian, to be really Christian, and to be really MSC in the church today. And I must say I was impressed by the way they are doing it. The whole chapter was an exercise of very mature, sensible men. There was no big fights or arguments. There was disagreement and difference of opinion, and some of those were expressed a bit strongly, but by and large, there was a lot of peace and equanimity there. So we are all called to that. We can say we can believe this and this and this and this, but we have to go deeper than the surface. We have to go right down into the depth and keep going deeper and deeper into our belief and our faith, and don't just swim around on the surface, splashing around on the surface. We must be people who are very deep in our faith. And that doesn't mean repeating more and more prayers. It means going deeper. Perhaps it means saying less prayers, but praying more deeply. It's a message today. This is part of our mission. And if we go deeper and if we become people of deep faith, then we will impact the world. Thank you for being with us on Mission.